Did you know that it is against the law to interact with dolphins unless you are at an aquarium, zoo, theme park, etc.? The reason for this is not to protect dolphins, but to stop humans from developing connections with mammals that are actually smarter than us. Dolphins have a cerebral cortex that is 40% larger than humans, and they have their own language which we are unable to comprehend. It is considered that dolphins may have knowledge about Atlantis, Lemuria, etc., which generally is hidden from the public via the Vatican archives. Damn! Okay, so I definitely agree with this post. Only because, one, I've looked into dolphin-assisted births, and studies say that if women is giving birth around dolphins, it'll actually assist and help with their birth. And two, sea life has been here longer than humans, which would also tie into Atlantis. And three, if there would be any ET in the ocean, my first go-to would be dolphins, because of their cerebral cortex is 40% larger than humans. And I'm pretty sure they have information on Atlantis and Lemuria. I believe dolphins are very ancient creatures. And then to top it off, this post ends with, it is considered that dolphins may have knowledge about Atlantis, Lemuria, etc., which generally is hidden from the public via the Vatican archives. If you don't know what the Vatican is, this is the Vatican with the Pope. And it literally looks like a reptile. And if you don't know, all religions are under the Vatican. So yes, I definitely believe that the Vatican has some crazy secrets. So yeah, I definitely believe that most sea life are the real ETs, especially coming from Atlantis or ancient Lemuria. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this in the comments.
Coming from Atlantis and ancient Lemuria. What's up, y'all? So today we're going to be talking about dolphins and the fact that they're extraterrestrials, the fact that they are very much smarter and they have been trying to telepathically communicate with us for the longest, and people are just not registering with it. They have memories and information on the Vatican, Lemuria, and Atlantis, right? First, I had to figure out what is Lemuria. You know, the ocean was already here before land masses and everything. Water has memory. Water has all the knowledge and information that's in it. I'm showing y'all the information that these dolphins could possibly have and give to us telepathically, because they do communicate that way, and we are capable of doing that. Just watch this, because I want y'all to know what Lemuria and the information that dolphins could possibly have.
There were a number of civilizations who have self-destructed on this planet over the last 500 million years or more, the last of which was Atlantis, who were in conflict with the Lemurians, and that battle took place for several thousand years, and finally Atlantis self-destructed and sank into the ocean. We don't quite know for sure where it is. We think it's off Bimini coast. They found a pyramid on the seafloor there, or it could be the Bermuda Triangle, but there are nodes. If you put a bunch of triangles around the globe, where they converge, it's called a node. And there's supposed to be 12 of these nodes on our planet. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the nodes. There's one node off the southern coast of Japan. If you go and research this, you will find where those 12 nodes are. So what I think, where these lines converge, the energy is very, very strong.
Okay, now watch this.
This is the secret history of America. As children, we were taught that the Spaniards came over and found an indigenous and savage people. But what the history books don't tell you is that there was an advanced civilization here already. Early archaeologists were dumbfounded when they found hundreds of giant-sized mummies in burial mounds. These discoveries led a British prospector named J.C. Brown to travel to a place called Mount Shasta in California. He found a cave at the base of the mountain that spiraled 11 miles into the earth. And it was there that he found an ancient underground city. Inside, he found gold and silver and giant, colossal weapons, but there was no people anywhere. And it was only on his way out that he found thousands of mummies buried inside another cave. He brought back one of the skeletons and wanted to share this news with the world. So he put together a team of scientists and miners to go back into the cave. But on the day of the departure, J.C. Brown was murdered in his tent. One witness said they had seen a tall and hairy bipedal creature leaving his tent that night. The team was disbanded, and the location of the entrance to the cave was forever unknown. Later, explorers trying to find this ancient city would describe strange experiences with tall people that they met in the wilderness. Now most of Mount Shasta is privately owned, and if you go onto these properties, you're escorted away from the mountain. Though we've now discovered hundreds of giant mummies, scientists believe that they're all fake. But even today, people still search for these ancient and advanced lost cities.
Have you guys heard of the Lemurians living underground at Mount Shasta? Lemurians are an ancient super advanced civilization who moved underground millions of years ago, it's believed. Millions. Mount Shasta is considered the root chakra of the earth. It is a powerful vortex. While the chakras of the earth are disputed, it is most commonly accepted that Mount Shasta is the root chakra of the earth, and these are the other 7, which you know I'm going to get into. Mount Shasta is very important to the Native Americans, especially the Pit River people, who believe that Shasta is the final stop that the soul takes before they ascend to heaven. Many people go to Shasta as like a sabbatical. A lot of authors get inspiration there. Tons of spiritual seekers head to Shasta every year. Some of the common myths and lore are that people meet Ascended Master Saint Germain, pictured here, my boy, the Divine Mother Creatrix Sophia, and again, meeting the Lemurians. People claim to meet the Lemurians while they're like on their hikes and shit. Lemurians are supposed to be like super beautiful, angelic, super tall beings, like over 7 feet tall, white hair, like Targaryen vibes. Lemuria, or Mu, is believed to have been a continent where heaven really was a place on earth. This was supposed to be like the golden age on earth, and they were supposed to be peaceful, highly intelligent, and yeah, they've been around for millions of years. All over the world and in every ancient text and religion, there is this story of a great flood, and that is what is believed to have happened to the Lemurians. Some people believe that they shapeshifted into whales, dolphins, and mermaids. Others went underground into tunnels deep into the earth. Some became stone people. Others fled to other lands. And some tried to just integrate with the rest of the planet. It is also thought that the Lemurians became the shamans and healers of the globe, sharing their healing gifts and passing them on. This may be why so many of the world's religions, lineages, and healing modalities are so similar when you break them down in essence, because they came from the same place, Lemuria. Highly recommend this book, Unveiled Mysteries, written in the early 1900s by Godfrey Ray King, who was at Mount Shasta and he met Ascended Master Saint Germain, and it is so freaking beautiful. This is like one of my favorite books.
Y'all. Okay, so did you hear how she just said that some of them turned into dolphins? Now, I wholeheartedly feel astrologically, like if you travel to the water, into the astral realm, in through the water, because water is a portal. You know how some people take on the form of birds, or some people shapeshift into cats, and some people do, you know, they have certain aspects of themselves that represent different beings. I feel like the dolphins that are in the water, they are literal aspects of these highly advanced beings that probably came from the stars or were also existing on this planet. Like she said, the Lemurians, the Atlanteans. What do you see? What did you see when you watched Aquaman? They were once above the earth, and then they descended to the ocean because of a great flood. Remember, I talked about that great flood in the past video before. Remember the great flood. They keep talking about this flood that took away every mythological creature, every alien, every piece of magic that ever walked on this earth. It just cleared out, right? Now listen to this. If you haven't watched this video, go watch it. And I was talking about the old world, the world that these religions and these ancient histories and all of these mythological stories come from. I'm never counting anything out, because everything comes from something. Talk about the great flood. Everything was erased, and this new world and this new reality, people's memories, people's minds, stories, all of it became fake, mythological. Our planet goes through astrological experiences, shift in consciousness, age of Aquarius, right? Moana, Frozen 2, The Hills Have Eyes, they've been telling us all of this for years. It was actually real. It actually existed on this earthly plane. I've always said we live on a multi-dimensional planet. What if all the mythological stories, all the giants, everything that we know that is claimed to be not real was just a parallel universe that we were swapped with? And now that we're starting to see more of these islands uncovering, the ocean that is underneath the ground, these petrified giants that we're seeing, what if all of this was a result of this swap of a parallel? And these beings that were living on this earth, the big ones, they were turned to stone. They weren't allowed to exist on this realm, in this side of the universe. This is not all just optical illusions. There was a seemingly point in time where we lost all knowledge, right? We didn't know where everything come from. We still trying to figure out everything, right? Like I said about the stages of consciousness that Earth goes through, the age of Aquarius, the age of Pisces, the destruction age in Taurus. Each planet has to experience these stages of consciousness, and when they are done experiencing and learning from it, they swap places. But sometimes there are physical remains of these parallel swaps, and the beings, the trees, the fairies, the mermaids, all of these stories and these mythological creatures can't exist in the new swap because of the state of consciousness. So they become petrified. And until we swap places with our original parallel, these beings will stay asleep because they can't exist during this state of consciousness. These new islands that's coming out, these China finding underground sinkholes in certain places like the Grand Canyon and the Hoover. Yeah, I'll be surprised at the stuff that I be saying that I be downloading. But that's just a little bit of my thought process when it comes down to these beings, aka what we're talking about today, the dolphins. I feel like they literally morphed themselves into aquatic beings so they can just live in the water.
Did y'all know that it's 100% illegal to try to communicate with dolphins at your local nearby beach? Did you know that if you get caught doing this, you can get fined up to $100,000 or sent to jail for up to a year? Now, the video clip I'm about to show you is for entertainment purposes only. I repeat, entertainment purposes only. And it has me raising eyebrows on what's the real reason why they've made it illegal to try to communicate with dolphins. Use your own discernment, comment below, but let's discuss it. This video you're about to watch is quite an eyebrow raiser.
Dr. Paul Swang was trained in he was trained in a college to be a whale trainer, and he became the whale trainer at the Vancouver Zoo, and he started training his killer whale there. But then after about a year, he began to realize that the whale was training him. It became real obvious to him. He says, wait a minute, the whale's actually, having more influence on his life than he's having on that one. And the whale got him to tell him about all the whales that were being killed all over the world, and started to influence him to stop the whaling in the world. So what did he do? He started Greenpeace. He was the founder of Greenpeace. He got the 6 people together. It's one table, which I got to introduce with each one of these people, and got them to go out and start this movement. And he went out on the ships, and he'd been arrested like 100 times. You go out these ships and just start shutting down everything. And they'd arrest him trying to get him stopped. And they did. They eventually got to stop the whaling in I don't know how many countries. There's like lots and lots of countries that Greenpeace has stopped all of this on. And one day he came to me and he said, the whales told him, he says that he believed that he was in direct communication with them telepathically, that he could just talk to them. He could tell them in his head to do any of the things that he wanted them to do in the water, and they would just do it. And he got to the place where he just knew that it was just like talking. And they told him that there was no such thing as an individual whale or an individual dolphin in the world. That they were really cells in a larger body of consciousness. And that communication occurred, that all there had to be, if there was a dolphin, there only needed to be another dolphin within a 1,000-mile radius. And that dolphin could communicate to the whole through that one. In other words, they did have a 1,000-mile limit in their communication. And this whale wanted to prove this to him. He says, I will prove to you that this is true. He says, yeah, I made contact last night. And he says, I'm sure that I did. I did it. And he says, they told me that I was going to be a large influence in the world in all of this. What they told him is the way they were going to prove it was, he said that he was to go to this bay north of Vancouver, a very specific spot, and he was to go there with video equipment and everything so that he could prove what was about to happen. And he was to tell his people, he had a whole group of people that worked with him. He was to tell them what was to happen so there would be like no backing out of this whole thing. And that on a certain day, at a certain time, which I think was 12 noon at a certain day, all the whales, of which there were about 100 of them, of a certain species, would come into this bay, would swim up to the shoreline, lift out of the water, and look him in the eyes. And that's exactly what happened. He went up there with about 30 people, and they put their microphones in the water and everything, and they sat around and they waited for this time. And sure enough, all these whales came swimming up to the shore, lifted out and looked him in the eyes. And obviously, he was never the same after that.
Wow, do you see what I'm talking about? That is a story and a prime example of dolphins, whales telepathically communicating to humans and proving it. And this is why they don't want you to talk to them, to be around them. That's why it's illegal. Charging $100,000, it's that serious. So let's just get into the rest of the video.
So check this video out, y'all. Check this video out, y'all. A whale was giving birth to a baby in the water, and this attracted sharks due to the blood, the smell of blood. And dolphins appeared out of nowhere and formed a circle around the whale and the baby to protect them. Look at that, y'all. Look at the whale. Look at the whale. Look at that. To protect the whale. This is why they want y'all to stay away from dolphins. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this is, man. Wow. And they escort them off. This is beautiful. Beautiful. And to be able to capture this, thank you to the Predator for this. Yeah, man, this is why they want y'all to stay. That's why they want dolphins to stay away from y'all. They want dolphins to stay away from us. We are connected to dolphins. Dolphins are higher versions of us. That's, they speak telepathy. Look at this, y'all. This is beautiful, man. Share this video. Let's get this out there. Look at what dolphins do for us. Look at this.
It's been a lot of talk on TikTok about this alien race that looks like dolphins, and they're called the Nomos. Watch this.
These Nomos were described as beings that essentially had dolphin-like bodies, perhaps with some kind of advanced technology to be able to move out of water, to float in front of them. Some of the Dogon's complex masks and ceremonial gear point to perhaps some form of space suit, perhaps, that these beings would wear.
The aquatic beings from Sirius can also be linked to other ancient civilizations, including one of the oldest in recorded history, the Sumerians.
The connection we have with the ancient Sumerian people with the Sirius star system comes from the close characteristics and depictions of Awanis from their culture as their creator god to bridge with the Nomo of the Dogon, who they described as coming from the Sirius star system.
I feel that we have had a continual influence of different galactic cultures and galactic species on the planet in different areas of the world over all of the last many thousands of years. The contact experiences never stopped in the age of Atlantis. They continued on.
Now this is a background on how they knew about the Nomos from the Doone Tribe.
How on earth did the Doone Tribe know about the things they did? Keep in mind they knew all this 700 years ago. When scientists questioned the Dogons, they said that the knowledge wasn't actually theirs, and that it was passed down from these ET beings they called the Nomos. This explains why they had cave drawings of our solar system, as well as the star Sirius where these beings were from. Cave drawings showed a flying saucer coming down from the heavens, making a large hole in the ground and filling it with water. They then actually went into the water, went up to the edge, and talked with the tribe, after which they explained where they came from and gave them the information that's depicted in the caves. Dogons actually describe these beings much like fish people or dolphins. Now the strange thing about all this is that these same dolphin beings appear in 12 different cultures all over the world. In places like Sumeria, one of the earliest civilizations, in India with Hindu culture, even in Peru, where the Incas tell the same exact story as the Dogons. Now to you this might just be one strange coincidence, but I definitely don't think it is. If you look at that, it's them again.
Here's another explanation of aquatic alien races.
Alright, you guys, this is alien races reported by ex-government workers. Let's go. I love how people be in my comments talk about it's not real because it doesn't suit the reality that they know of, when this is a high likely chance that these are real. The first one is an Aquarian, which is the dolphin people. These beings can breathe air and oxygen somehow and happen to have 4 pair of lungs. They have 2 arms and 2 legs, their hands only have 2 fingers, and their feet are really stubby. Their mouth is really long too. They communicate through telepathy and frequency, which is like whale noises. They speak 4 times faster than humans, meaning that to them, we talk really slow. And government workers, when talking with them, have to wear a special box which translates their clicking noises to human language. Second Aquarian is these...
Wait a minute, wait a minute, it's clicking. Do y'all remember when I made a video talking about, there's different tribes that speak clicking noises, but I was talking about it looks like the new tribe. And there are other tribes called the Kosai, and they talk through clicking. That's what they're saying, that these amphibious aquatic beings, they speak through frequency and the vibration that comes through that. So where do you think they learned it from? This whole time, people are speaking through frequency.
Manatee type people. They have small, tiny T-Rex like hands they don't use and small, stubby feet, but don't get them wrong, they're very tall. They apparently have personalities like old scientists where they know everything and they're very focused on history and where they come from. They see themselves as the enlightened Aquarians, so they compete with dolphins and other water beings. They have really deep voices. I'm gonna have to do a part 4 because there's more.
Okay, so you know how it says alien races reported by ex-governmental workers, right? We already know that the government is aware of alien races, and I know that they have a whole lot of information on the aquatic beings, the aquatic races, the alien races that are operating on this planet. Now, I'm gonna show you an example of this from a TV show called The Inside Job. Okay, I couldn't find any scene of him. I couldn't find any scene of him explaining what happened, but basically on the TV show Inside Job, this is a TV show that is basically talking about the people who cover up the Illuminati and the conspiracies. So they work to keep the world order intact. This person was a part of a government experimentation, which is mixing dolphins and humans together. And this is a side effect of it. So he's called the Dolphin Man. And I strongly feel that this is a true thing. Let me just show you a little bit of what's going on in the museum. You see that, and you see that. Everything comes from something. That's all I'm gonna say. They know how powerful dolphins are. That's why they made it illegal for you to interact with dolphins. So I want y'all to recognize and see that dolphins, they can telepathically talk. And imagine what other animals have been trying to telepathically talk to us for a minute now. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching this video with me and taking my interest. I've been having a lot of underwater dreams and dreaming about dolphins and stuff like that. So I just wanted to do a little research, and I wanted to share it with y'all. I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Stay great, stay elevated, stay in love.